Welcome back, comic book junkies. I hope you are enjoying this journey with me as I show you the top 50 comic books in the Nighttiger comic book. The top 50 comic books in my collection, Nighttiger Comics. I'm having a heck of a time sharing these stuff with you and going through them and the nostalgia and remembering where I bought them. I hope you made it this far. This is the last part, and I'm just kind of sad it's over, but you know what? I decided I'm going to go ahead and do a list of all the patriotic propaganda Golden Age books in my collection. But I'm sure may come out after the live stream. I don't know. But if it doesn't, I hope you tune in for the live show. So let's just take a look. I got more comic books, more killer comic books. All right, comic book junkies, this is the last video, part 5, my top 50 comic books in the Nighttiger comic collection. If you stood with me through this whole journey, I sure appreciate you. You're definitely a fan and a member of the cult. But we're moving on with some really cool comics. I want to know in the comments, what's your favorite book in your collection? And tell me the books you see here, what is your favorite and why? How do you collect Golden Age? After watching my videos, have you been inspired to start looking for some? Scarce book, Lucky 7 Comics, #1. This book has everything to it. It's from 1944, but look at this. It has a flamethrower, superhero to the rescue, bondage, good girl, blonde hair. Look at that apparatus right there. Flamethrower gun. It has horror. I don't know what that is, like the Statue of Liberty as a ghoul. But this is a funny book. Have you watched? I'm a researcher. I researched this book. This book actually does not have any of the stories of the Pioneer in it. It has all other stories. So why is that, you ask yourself? Lucky 7 Comics. And now at this video, we're really getting to the nitty gritty, to the real favorites of my collection. So I surmised that they were working on this issue, but it didn't meet deadline, and they had to get it out. They threw the cover on some reprints, put it out, and then when they finished the comic book, they put it out with another cover, and they actually renamed it also, called Sharp Comics. So this is #2. And this actually has the Pioneer story in it. So again, Sharp Comics #2. And it's funny because in the Gerber Guide, if you know what that is, go watch my video. Look it up. Put Gerber Guide, Nighttiger Comics. Watch the video. It's only like 5 minutes. There's a set of books, photojournal books, that have like 65% of all the Golden Age. It's high caliber printing, high caliber inks from 1986. And they list #1 as a blank because they didn't know what it was. So this is #1. And shout out to Alan, the Comic Book Geek. He just got himself a copy of the Sharp Comics. This was my birthday gift, I think. Was it this year? No, this was my birthday gift to myself last year. I'm wearing a dress, guys. So Sharp Comics #2. And then this book, this is one of the first books that I bought collecting Golden Age online. And I believe that I got this from, oh man, who did I get? It's a big seller, and they have a website, and I can't remember the name right now. Oh man, but anyways, they listed it with a little description saying that they've never seen this book ever since they've been collecting and selling since 1969. It's something collectibles. DTA collectibles. So again, I'm a researcher. And if that didn't pick up because I just hit pause, I'm a researcher. So I researched this book. It's actually an unpublished story of Captain Aereo comics by Holyoke. Is it Captain Aereo? I believe that's Captain Aereo. I got it written down here. Yep, Captain Aereo comics. So it was an unpublished issue that actually was supposed to, I think, go in between issues 14 and 15, and somehow it never got published. I don't know if they lost it or couldn't locate it at the time. So they put it out under this banner, this title called Very Best Surefire Comics. So basically it's like a one-shot. It's a World War II cover. It's got a World War II plane there. And I don't know what happened here. It was burnt or something. I put like a photocopy, slid it under there. I've never seen it, but you know what? After I got this, about 3 years later, I found another issue on eBay for like $60. And it was exactly the same, except for the lettering wasn't red, it was black. And I purchased it. And I still miss it a lot. But I gave it as a gift to a man cave after he sent me this. So I showed this in the last video, talked about it. So I sent him that. It was like a 2 year later, they reissued it with just black lettering, but exactly the same comic. And yeah, I kind of miss it a lot, but it is what it is. So very best Surefire comics. And this is just top 10, always in my collection. All right, we showed Duke of Darkness earlier. And here's Top Spot Comics #1 with the Duke of Darkness. And maybe if I remember while I'm editing this and getting it out, I'll show the centerfold splash in here. It's just so cool. I don't know if it's a centerfold splash, blah, 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 if it's the centerfold splash, but I know there's panels in here that are so cool where he's fighting the devil. And the art is just so bright. The inks are so bright, so clean. I'm actually excited. I can't wait to show you guys a couple of those panels. But the Duke of Darkness, Top Spot Comics #1 from 1945. Yep. Actually, I don't have anything written up there. That's kind of weird. Okay, so this one I picked up. I don't even remember when I got it. 1944. Skyrocket Comics #1, Harry Chesler book. There's no date inside this book anywhere. But this is an extremely high-grade copy of this book. There's actually a low-grade copy, or was, on eBay for $70. I don't know how I came across this, but this book is worth a lot of money. It's like almost $1,000 book in this condition. Especially if I got it graded, but I don't do that. I can't even recall when I bought it. I know it was off eBay, but I can't remember the year, the situation, or nothing like that. I really hate that. I like having stories attached to my purchases. But just a killer book, Skyrocket Comics. I mean, come on, just the name alone screams so cool. Nice blues. I love the blues. I always have a sucker for a good background blue cover. Skyrocket Comics #1. Just like saying it. Skyrocket Comics #1. Ken Battlefield cover. I do remember that. All right. This next one is a Mac Raboy cover. And I remember purchasing this one off my comic shop. When I seen this on my comic shop for $129, there wasn't a hesitation. I know this book is so extremely scarce. And not only that, it's so cool. Look at the sci-fi. Look at the gun. It looks like metal the way that it's actually inked. And look at the guns and everything. Everything about the Scream is just killer book. Look at that date stamp right up here, May 2nd, 1944. This is another Harry Chesler book. So both of these are Cheslers. And I think I showed a Chesler and maybe video 1. Macra Boy. Kind of like a Clark Kent looking guy. But look at that gun. Dude, this is one killer book. Now I'm going to tell you a little secret. It's got a really cool Yankee Boy story too. Master Key, Lucky Cone. I trimmed this. I trimmed the book. Yes, I did. Right down here. Because it's my book, and I wanted it to look nice, and I took a nice sharp razor blade, and I cut those frayed pages off. Macra Boy. And I don't know if I mentioned it probably last video, they're my books. I don't plan on ever selling them, and I like to do what I want with them. So I trimmed it. Yes, I did. Just great green, great blues. Look at the blues on that. Look at the blues on here. Dynamic Comics number 9, 1944, I said, Macra Boy. And it's extremely scarce. I think I saw one more for sale since I bought this back in 2022. I don't know what books to put in the thumbnail. I'm trying to decide here behind the camera. Okay, I want to shout out again. I shouted him out either the last video or the video before. Captain Strangelife. Man, I can't believe that he sent me this book. This is top 10 in my collection always. Funny Man, number 1, January 1948. I think this lasted 6 issues. I have the 3 of the 6, and I actually have the last 2, which are the hardest to get. This is 1948, and it is a Jerry Siegel and Joe Shuster creation. So they got it. They are finally exhausted. They didn't have any more funds to keep fighting DC because DC screwed them over royalty, all out of royalties from Superman. They had signed a contract early on that DC was only to use Superman in the comic books, and I believe maybe in the newspapers, but nowhere else. They couldn't merchandise him. They couldn't use him on radio or movies, television. And they just went ahead and did it anyway without permission. They just broke the contract. And, of course, so then you got to go sue them. But, of course, as a bigger company, they had more resources, and they exhausted Jerry Siegel, Joe Shuster. They tried to keep them happy by giving them, a lot of work. But eventually that wore thin because they saw DC making so much money off their character. They finally had enough. Fed up, they quit DC Comics, went to Magazine Enterprises, and thought, hey, we're going to create the next Superman. And that was Funny Man. Obviously, he didn't do very well. He didn't last very long. This is a book I seen when I was a kid looking through the Overstreet price guides. Never thought I could ever own a number 1 issue. So I am so grateful to Captain Strangelife. Thank you so much, my friend. This will never, ever leave my collection. It actually will go in my coffin when I die. It is just so, it screams Golden Age. Love those shoes. Okay, this was a birthday book that I bought for myself in 2022, and I paid up for this. And I think this book has come down. I paid $242. At the time, I had never seen it before. And this is from 1950. It's a Superior Comics reprint of Blue Beetle stories. And I have seen 1 or 2 now come up for sale on eBay around the $200 mark. But just a killer book. Blue Beetle. I showed Blue Beetle number 8, I think, in the first video. Drinking my Tab and my Tang. But if you've watched this channel and you're a faithful follower, you definitely know that I love books that are just so scarce. There's just something about them that titillates me. It gives me goosebumps, warms the cockles, you name it. I just love scarce books, Golden Age scarce books. Because most books that are outside the Golden Age aren't scarce at all. Let's just say 99.999% of books outside of coded books are not scarce. That's not true. I think when we're getting around probably 60, around 1960 and forward, a lot of those books are so prevalent, none of them are scarce. But just go back into the Golden Age, go back into like the 40s and the 30s, and there were so many reasons why books were lost, destroyed, paper drives, fire, book burnings, just read to death. So just happy to have this one. Like I said, this is a Canadian book. It's published by Superior Publications in Canada. And a lot of Canadian books in the Golden Age are really scarce because they weren't many of them printed. Guys, we're getting the 50th, but I have 2 comics left. Up next, from 1945, a one-shot Meteor Comics with what I believe through research to be the first Gil Kane cover ever done by Gil Kane. And this has a really cool story about this imp right there. But Meteor Comics #1. Come on, that's another title. It's like Skyrocket Comics. Meteor Comics. That is just such a killer name for a comic book. This one's pretty scarce too. I think I've seen less than 3 of them for sale since I've been collecting Golden Age in my life. But they may be out there. Who knows? But come on, guys. Look at that. And it has like those flash lines on the meteor. Like the letters are meteors. I forget who publishes this book. I think it might be Real Home Publishers. I'm just guessing. Sometimes my memory works and other times it doesn't. Nice purple background. Yeah, what do you think of that book? The Wizard. Okay, so I'll probably put in a number here. #1 book in my collection. Ever since I got it, it's always been #1. Nothing has been able to knock this thing out of the #1 spot. The reason it is #1, not only is it early Golden Age, but killer Golden Age. Daredevil Comics is Silver Streak Comics with Silver Streak up here. Captain Battle, Daredevil. But this was previously owned by my good friend, Roger Perez, Metarog, one of the greatest comic book community members. And he lives up the road. We just got to hang out for a little bit a couple weeks ago. But not only that, it's the first comic book conserved by Jerry the Jitterbug on his YouTube channel. And that's how I got to know Jerry. I saw this book and I stumbled on the channel and I'm watching him, conserve this book, which was compelling enough in itself. But then he goes, this book belongs to Metarog. And I was driving. I literally almost went off the road because I know Roger. He doesn't collect Golden Age. I'm like, that's. So I called him right away. No, I didn't go off the road yet. So when I heard his name, I called him right away and I said, "Is that your book?" And he's like, "Yeah, you want to trade? I'm not attached to it." That's when I almost went off the road. Because I'm like, I could own this. This could be mine. He's like, "Yeah, I'll send you a list of books that I need to complete runs. And if you send me a stack of books to trade, I'll give it to you." And I'm like, what the? I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. So he did, and I sent him a stack of Silver Age, Bronze Age, Marvels, whatever he needed. I was willing to part with. So I sent him a big stack of books. So this is always going to be #1 for all those reasons. This is one I have to take out and show. I mean, come on, it's the #1 book in my collection. Jerry did a fantastic job, but now he's honed his skill and he's much better. But still, because I guess this is a white cover, it really works on the conserve on this thing. Look at the colors on that, man. The book is bone white. And Daredevil, as a character, he just looks so cool. So let's look at this splash page. Where is it? Look at this. Holy moly. I'm telling you, the colors of this thing are so bright. Here's the silver streak. The Mercury Boy Speed King. Dickie Dean. We can pass him. We don't need to see Dickie Dean. Well, here we go with some Daredevil panels. Check that out. So this is the #1 book in my collection, and you can already tell why. I don't even have to say anything. I hope you guys enjoyed this series. I know I enjoyed actually doing it. And you know, I thought it's going to be a lot of work. I'm playing Assassin's Creed Valhalla, which takes a lot of time, and I really enjoy just sitting for hours playing that game. And I was like, do I want to do this? Or can I just go ahead and start playing video games all day? Because my wife's, she's still out of the country for another 2 weeks. So I got all the time I need to do stuff. But man. Okay, so that's the #1. I'm glad that you stuck around. Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear your insights. I always enjoy reading what you guys have to say. Okay. That's it, guys. #1 in my collection. Let's put it up there. Just throw a couple books up there really quick and we'll end it. These are going to be the thumbnail books. I just don't want to end as I'm having so much fun making the videos, so I got to get out of here.